Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. Want to take you guys through all of the new Steam game releases to look out for this week. Quite the variety of titles dropping this week. A couple of titles from notable franchises, and a lot of depth in general in the games dropping this week. So let's get right into it, and let's start things off with Song of Nunu, a League of Legends story. Guys, I know a lot of you guys hate League. You guys think it's the most toxic game ever, but these Riot Forge League titles, League of Legends story games, have been pretty damn good. Ruined King by Airship Syndicate I thought was fantastic. I thought that game was really good. I just played Convergence earlier this year. That game, starring Echo, was fantastic as well. And now you have Song of Nunu, a League of Legends story. This seems to be a throwback platformer, starring Nunu and Willump, and gives me vibes of all of those games that were classic titles that featured two mascots, a Banjo and Kazooie type deal. Two best friends, one wild adventure, joined best friends Nunu and Willump on an adventure across the frozen wilds of the Freljord. Song of Nunu, a League of Legends story, is a single-player story adventure developed by Tequila Works. Looks like a pretty enjoyable platformer, and again, the consistency in these offerings from Riot Forge should be something that's commended. I'm not saying they're the best games of all time, but they're always released at a budget price point of $30, and I think this is going to end up being pretty good as well. Song of Nunu, a League of Legends story, drops on November 1st. Next up, we have a game coming from Don't Nod Entertainment, being published by them as well. Not getting a lot of buzz, but we have Just Ant. Enjoy meditative vibes in Just Ant, an action puzzle climbing game. Scale an immeasurably tall tower and ascend to new heights alongside your watery companion. Master your climbing tools, find your way up through diverse biomes, and piece together the tower's past. Looks like an interesting adventure game. Definitely a little bit off the wall from what Don't Nod usually offers, but we'll see how this one turns out. Just Ant drops on October 31st, and it will be available on Xbox Game Pass. Next up, we have a major IP getting a game, and that is RoboCop Rogue City. This is taking place between RoboCop 2 and RoboCop 3. Become the legendary part man, part machine, all-cop hero, and deliver justice in old Detroit. Now, this game, from a gameplay standpoint, based on what I've seen, looks like a fairly standard first-person shooter. I think people are gonna enjoy aspects, especially if they're a fan of RoboCop, the setting, the ambiance, the visuals. I think those elements look pretty good. You do have a wide variety of weapons to utilize, and you will have decision-making to make. It looks like it's got open levels as well. Now, the game is out on November 2nd for $49.99. You guys know the trend these days. You buy the deluxe edition for $10 more, and you're gonna get 48 hours of early access. Quote-unquote early access. Let's not get into that diatribe right now, but yeah, up to you on whether or not you want to do that. RoboCop Rogue City drops on November 2nd. Next up, we have For the King 2, coming from Iron Oak Games and published by Curve. Battle against the tyrannical queen alone or as a party of 4 players in the sequel to For the King, the massively popular turn-based roguelite tabletop RPG. Will you unravel the once beloved queen's terrible secret? The follow-up to For the King. For the King 2 is easy for anyone to pick up and play, but takes skill, patience, and strategic excellence to master while remaining infinitely replayable with a procedurally generated map that ensures no two playthroughs will ever be the same. Unique yet familiar, dice roll-inspired movement, encounter the combat mechanics add even more spontaneity and variety as your fortunes rise and fall on the roll of a dice. For the King 2 drops on November 2nd. Next up, here's a JRPG I am stoked for. We have Star Ocean: The Second Story R. Don't ask me why Star Ocean: The First Departure R never came to PC and Steam, but hey, at least we're getting Second Story. This is a remake of Star Ocean 2, which saw a port to PSP with Star Ocean: The Second Evolution, and it's a science fantasy RPG. Choose between two protagonists, either Claude or Rena, and play through their perspectives and unlock various endings, recruit allies, and defeat foes in fast-paced real-time battles. A lot of people consider Star Ocean 2 to be the best game in the entire franchise, and now it's upgraded, brought to life with a unique 2.5D aesthetic which fuses 2D pixel characters and 3D environments. The remake includes everything that made the original release so great and adding new elements too, including a new Game Plus component. Given that there's multiple endings to the game, I think that's something that people will appreciate. Expect a captivating story, and there's already a demo available right now on Steam, so if you want to try it out, that option is available. The $49.99 price tag is a little bit hefty. I could see that pushing some people away, but given that this is going to be a lengthy JRPG with some replayability, might be something to consider checking out even at that price point. Star Ocean: The Second Story R drops on November 2nd. Next up, another major sequel here. We have the Talos Principle 2. Talos Principle came out, I want to say, all the way back in 2014, and now we're finally getting a follow-up with the Talos Principle 2, a thought-provoking first-person puzzle experience that greatly expands on the first game's philosophical themes and stunning environments with increasingly mind-bending challenges. I'm not super into puzzle games, but I thought Talos Principle was a really well-designed game, and from a thematic standpoint, an incredibly compelling game, as far as puzzle games go. It's never going to be a genre that really grips me, but if you're into these kinds of games, rewarding puzzles that I didn't found too frustrating in the original, and if you haven't played the original, you can get that dirt cheap these days, so definitely go check that out, and Talos Principle 2 has a demo available as well if you want to try it out. And the official release happens on November 2nd, a 10% off discount if you do get the game by then. Next up, we have a free-to-play mech title, and that is Phantom Galaxies. It warms my heart to see more and more mech games, I'll just say that. Phantom Galaxies is an epic sci-fi adventure with thrilling mecha combat. Choose between 4 distinct starfighter classes and diverse weapons and gear. Once enemies, the intergalactic empires of humanity band together to battle lawless pirate factions in a war-torn space. You've got 4 mecha classes. Tailor your gameplay with a choice between 4 distinct starfighter classes: the versatile Assault, Precise Lancer, Brutal Buster, and Vicious Breacher, each with unique abilities, and by equipping a diverse range of weapons and items. Make your avatar and starfighter your very own as you level up and take full ownership of in-game items. Explore sprawling, picturesque galaxies, hurling through the reaches of space in handcrafted planet-side locations, and cover the history and lore of the major galaxy, unraveling millennia-old secrets. And you've got solo and multiplayer missions. Complete diverse missions, including an enthralling and cinematic main storyline, side quests filled with memorable action and characters, PvP multiplayer battles, PvP multiplayer bounties, and more. Phantom Galaxies is hitting Steam for free by Blowfish Studios November the 2nd. Next up, we have a classic finally looking to drop on Steam, and that is Radiant Silvergun. Set on the Earth and in space on July 14, 2520 AD, the film explores the mystery of mankind's extinction. Various terrains become battlefields. Enemies attack from all directions. There are 23 bosses in total. Aim for a high score by making full use of score bonuses and level up weapons. This is for those of you that love bullet hell shoot-em-ups. Radiant Silvergun hits Steam on November the 3rd. And lastly, another free release here. We have StrangerZ. Yes, another one with that Z attachment to it. StrangerZ is a free-to-play multiplayer survival horror game. Play as or survive against the stranger with your teammates until dawn. Level up, play competitively, and rank up either by surviving or killing all of the other players against you. Another game that does have a demo available right now. The gameplay notes: group up with friends or other players in a fun, immersive horror game. Select your lobby size ranging from 1v1 to 3v1. One player from your lobby will randomly be selected at the start of the game to play as the stranger. The other players will be survivors and have to defend the house from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. The game ends once the stranger gets past the survivors' defenses and kills them, or if the survivors survive until 6 a.m. Every time you win a game, you will earn rewards that can be used on a variety of in-game items. The survivor gameplay and the stranger gameplay will be distinctly different. You've got progression and player upgrades, and it notes immersive graphics and an atmosphere to boot. StrangerZ will be dropping on November the 3rd, again, free of charge. Next up, we have Alien Hominid Invasion. Old friends and bitter enemies await you as you invade Earth alongside a mothership full of alien friends. Blast, beam, and bite your way through an endless swarm of enemies as you and up to 3 of your fellow friends cause mayhem with a huge arsenal of weapons, mutations, and acrobatic maneuvers. Obviously, the behemoth who this game is coming from, they do a great job on their co-op action titles, and if you've got a couple of buddies to play this game with, it's going to be a good time. Alien Hominid Invasion drops on November 1st. That is going to do it for me. Again, I think a pretty loaded week of new game releases. Look, October was absolutely crazy with the game releases, especially outside of Steam. Alan Wake 2, Assassin's Creed Mirage, but you also had Lords of the Fallen. It was just big game after big game. I think November is going to shape up to be a pretty solid month as well. Links to all of these games in the description box down below. And as always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate it if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.